Oh boy.
This is Don't Panic, episode number 253, recorded September 17th, 2019. The 11 Plus, 7th Gen Pro, Max, Series 5. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Don't Panic, the technology podcast on gadgets, the internet, and you. I'm Sean Jennings, joined as always by two, they're just nice guys. It's Colby Rabideau and Dan Miller.
Hi.
Hi.
Busy men about
It's good
town.
to be back. What was that?
Busy men about town. We're doing an unusual Tuesday episode this week.
Tuesday episode. It feels like a Monday, though, I gotta say.
Changing it up.
Uncharted waters.
Feels like a Monday.
So what did Monday feel like?
An Uber Monday.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yep. But, so I was at a conference last week, and then I came home yesterday, and then I had some things to deal with, and then yesterday was a work day. Today we had to move offices.
Oh.
Oh god.
So I just got done cleaning my keyboards. That's what I do every time I move an office.
You pop off every key and really get in there?
Not only that, I clean my keyboard, I clean my boss's keyboard.
Wow. Is that part of the job description, or is that just a perk?
No, because I had borrowed his keyboard and I had used it, and it's the exact same keyboard as mine, and I had
Gotcha.
never really given it back, so I was like, I should clean this and then give it back.
Aw.
So,
What makes your keyboard dirty? Is there anything in particular?
well, okay, there are two things. There are two things that get on my nerves. One, you get stuff underneath the keyboard. That's true regardless of what kind of keyboard you have. Although I will say, this keyboard I have here is all flat on the bottom, so I think it'd be pretty easy to clean off. Two, I have blank white keycaps on one of my keyboards, and those, they get a little smudgy after a while.
Yep.
So you gotta polish those up.
Mm-mm.
And yeah, that's been my life. How are you, Sean? You too went somewhere.
Yes, Colby and I had a very romantic date at Niagara Falls this past weekend.
And how was Niagara Falls?
Colby, what's your review?
Majestic.
I had been there before, so I want to hear Colby's.
Technically, I had been there once before too, though it was a long time ago, and I truly don't remember it. It was cool. It's a big waterfall. It's pretty like majestic.
I like majestic waterfalls.
Yeah, allegedly, according to Wikipedia, the first lady, the first recorded person to go over the falls was a woman in a barrel with her cat.
Ha ha!
Yeah.
We didn't see anyone go over.
No, thankfully. What did we see? We saw some boats. They take boats and they drive them up to the falls. We saw some abandoned buildings. They're like pretty big, but also abandoned.
Abandoned on, like, along where the falls are?
Yeah. Sean said that they're remnants of like hydroelectric plants from times past.
Cool.
We saw
Yep.
lots of tourists.
We did. We looked at the Canadian side of Niagara Falls, which people say is better. It certainly seems like there's a lot more going on. There's a really tall building that says casino on it.
We couldn't figure out what
Okay.
was inside.
Yeah.
Did I steal your joke, Colby?
No, you helped me out.
Okay,
You
I
got
thought that's
there.
where you were going. I jumped right in there.
It was.
We
Yeah.
couldn't take Colby to the Canadian side with all of his active warrants. We wouldn't want him thrown in Canadian jail.
Right.
I hear those jails are really something else.
Well, I just can't believe Colby had a chance to commit so many crimes in Canada that they'd be looking for him up there.
This is completely unrelated, but I was just watching episode 1 of season 3 of The Good Place, and there was a character, very briefly, named Colby, and he was supposed to be a douchebag. He was a character. He was a caricature. And I don't know.
This is
I
very
was a little
upsetting.
offended by that.
I think it's one of those things though where it's like in the era where you were named Colby, that's a fun and unique name. In the era today when you're named Colby, it's like all of these other sort of Bryce and Dustin and what are some other white guy names?
Dustin. See, I don't know
Caleb with a
anyone named
K.
Colby.
But that's what I'm saying. I think it's coming back. I think it's coming
see.
back to a whole new generation.
I guess. I don't know. I was a little upset by that. That's all.
Oh.
I would prefer no representation in mainstream media over
That's funny.
that sort of representation.
If I didn't know you and someone was like, all right, imagine someone named Colby, what would you imagine? What would I think? Because if someone's like, name a guy who's Dan. Like, what's a Dan
Well, wait,
kind of guy?
can we name some famous Colbys?
I feel like we must have done this before, but I can't. Isn't it, who's the singer lady? Colby Callier?
Colby Calais, yeah. Kobe Smulders. I think she's a Kobe though.
She's got a show coming
That
out
was
this
going to be my only one.
Mm-hmm.
year. Yeah, I don't think you can be the first.
Let's see.
When our podcast finally
You
takes
don't
off.
even get one of those Google banners across the
Oh.
top. Just famousbirthdays.com. There's a lot of Instagram stars on here, Colby.
Oh no, that's not helping your case.
Colby Lewis, baseball player. There are 4, 8, 12, 17 famous Colbys, but only 8 of them have pictures.
So what I'm hearing is that it would be really easy to get Colby listed as a famous person on the internet.
I think so. One of these people is 14, and their job is family member.
You can beat that, Colby.
Another one's 25, BMX rider.
Oh, not even like
Maybe,
BMX champion. They just ride a BMX bike.
Yeah.
Maybe I should submit. Can I submit myself to famousbirthdays.com?
I think so.
Podcaster, internet guru,
Yeah, right.
30 under 30
Podcaster.
luminary.
self-proclaimed ladies' man.
Boy. Ooh, famousbirthdays.com has a random button.
Ooh.
Hit me up.
Oh, it gives you a random person though.
Oh, not a random date?
No, I got Matt LeBlanc.
Oh, can I guess when his birthday is?
Yeah, please.
Matt LeBlanc strikes me as a March 13th kind of guy.
No, sir. Do you have a guess, Dan?
No. Why would I possibly have a guess?
Well, there are only so many days to choose from. It's not an infinite list.
I'm gonna say November 15th.
No. The reality is right in the middle. It's July 25th.
So we were close.
Yeah. Also, did you know he was born in Newton, Massachusetts?
Hey.
There you go.
Yeah. They're born on July 25th, number 2. What does that mean? Oh, he's the number 2 most famous person behind a Snapchat star?
What?
I'm suspicious of famousbirthdays.com.
Yeah. I don't know what to think about their algorithm.
Speaking of algorithms,
Go
we
on.
got some tech news to talk about.
We do. We're a little behind the 8 ball because the announcement was a week ago, but that's okay. There's no shame in that. We've got the big Apple announcement to talk about. Are you guys excited for that?
New York announced that the F train's going to be running express at 5 o'clock and 5:30 now.
No,
That's
you're
the big
kidding.
Apple announcement.
Express?
Sean, do not even get me started. In
Okay,
fact,
then I won't.
You're welcome to,
Nope.
but know that you would be getting me started.
No, we don't want to rev up this Dan.
All I'd like to know is, are you pro or con the expressness?
I am objectively pro, but subjectively con. which is one of the hardest ways to be.
That is hard.
Very, very conflicted. I'm so sorry. But take your mind off of that Big Apple news, because we've got slightly smaller Apple news to talk about.
Okay.
As I mentioned last week, Apple held their announcement, and we have a bunch of stuff. Do you guys want to just do it in the order in which it was announced?
Yes.
Start with the small stuff, work our way up to the big stuff. We're gonna start we're gonna start with the subscription stuff. Apple TV Plus will launch on November 1st for $4.99 a month. That monthly cost includes family access and 4K streaming, and you'll get a whole year free if you buy any new iPhone, iPad, Apple TV, iPod Touch, or Mac. Apple is also allowing up to 6 family members to share one Apple TV Plus subscription and watch using their own Apple ID and password. This is powered through family sharing, and it will automatically renew at $4.99 per month. On and on. It's interesting because it undercuts Disney Plus, which will be $6.99 a month. Netflix's most popular plan is $12.99 a month. But the big difference is it's only going to start with a few key series. The Morning Show with Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston will be on there. Hailee Steinfeld's drama about Emily Dickinson called Dickinson will be there. But only a few shows to begin with. Apple will roll out new series over the next couple months. Most TV Plus series will premiere with 3 episodes, with 1 new episode rolling out each week. Yeah, so that's Apple TV Plus.
I watched some of the trailers last night for the shows.
Okay. Thoughts?
Honestly, the only one I remember is C.
C. Jason Momoa. Yes. Alfre Woodard.
And the premise is some calamity happened and civilization ended and all humans are blind now.
Mm-hmm.
It seems interesting. I don't know.
So I think there are a couple interesting shows, and I don't have them in front of me, but the one with done by the Battlestar Galactica people that is what if the Soviets won the space race?
Yep.
Yes, that one too.
The morning show one looks like it might be good. It's not my kind of show, but
now is that one a show? Like it's a TV show?
Yeah, it's a drama set. It's like, remember when Aaron Sorkin did Newsroom or Studio 60?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but good, and set at a morning like the Today Show.
I see. Cool. I guess I just assumed because like Steve Carell and Jennifer Aniston and
Reese Witherspoon.
Yes, we're all in it.
Yep.
That it was a movie because they're famous.
Yes, big expensive stars.
Indeed. Neat.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. This really strikes me as one of those services that it's like kind of like HBO is for me, where I'll pick it up for a month to watch a specific series and then I'll cancel it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, but you might be picking it up for a whole year for free.
That's true. That's a great deal, and that's something, it's interesting when the hardware manufacturer is also making content. That's one of the rare things they can do is give you the content for free.
Right.
And I guess the idea is people get hooked and then they start subscribing. I'm not surprised they did that. I think that's a smart play on their part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am cautiously optimistic about Apple TV Plus. I have no compunctions about canceling it if there's nothing to try out, but let's just say I will be getting a year free, so I will be trying it.
Fantastic tease.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, Apple TV falls into that category of I don't understand why they're doing it. Like, they're not really doing anything special or unique that no one else is doing.
Right.
So I don't, it doesn't, we'll talk about Apple Arcade here in a second. That's kind of unique. I don't get what Apple TV Plus is really doing for them, but we'll find out as more shows launch there. Apple Arcade was also announced. It's available starting September 19th. In a couple days when iOS 13 drops. In over 150 countries, there will be 100 new games in the launch catalog, and it will be $4.99 a month. We saw a couple demos during the event. of some games you'll be able to play. It'll, of course, be available on all of your Apple devices with a 1-month free trial.
Nice. I'm kind of excited to try that.
Yeah, the games look good. I'm not typically a person who plays a lot of mobile phone games, so I don't feel like I'm the target audience, but maybe I will after I try this.
Yeah. I think in the last year or two, I've mostly given up paying for mobile phone games. So,
In what sense?
like, I just don't like if something costs money. I don't know. I guess maybe I just don't play.
Interesting. So even if it's a one-time purchase, you won't do it.
Yeah. Unless it's something that's like.
Do you play a lot of games that are free to play with a bunch of ads and gems and stuff? No. So you just don't play mobile games at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it's just I've fallen out of that phase and I will return to it. But I'm interested to try this. Yeah. Yeah, that could be one possible result is I try this and I still don't play games. I just don't like fun anymore. I've grown out of fun.
Oh no, he's lost his sense of whimsy.
Possibility.
Yeah. All work and no play makes Colby a dull Colby.
The good news is if this were a movie, you'd be in Act 1 about to enter a whimsical adventure to get back your sense of love and your internal childhood.
It's true.
But life isn't a movie. You're dead inside now. I'm excited for this only because the way I play mobile games is I play them for like a combined 30 minutes a piece and then I get bored. So this is perfect for me because I don't have to buy individual games. I can just play as many games as I want in very short succession. So I think it's going to be I'm definitely going to try it. I'm definitely going to subscribe and see what they have on there. And I hope both of you join because you two are the ones who recommend games to me. So I need you to be on there so I have something to play. Please. Thank you.
Or you can just work through all 100. Sean, this could be a great opportunity for you to do another podcast or like some sort of vlog about your experience.
I think we'll call it Trapped in the Apple Arcade.
Perfect.
And I have to try every single game. That sounds painful.
It truly does.
I'm going to pass on that. But the good news is you now have another new device to play it on, a new iPad. It is slotted in at the entry level, a replacement for the existing 9.7-inch iPad at $329. It's a 10.2-inch. So it's a little bit bigger screen, those smaller bezels, though it does still have Touch ID, still has the home button, so it's not the edge-to-edge you get on the Pro. It's available right now at $329. The only real differences with this one is it has the smart connector, so it's compatible with the smart keyboard and the first-generation Apple Pencil, and it comes with the A10 Fusion chip, which is less than the A10X you get in the Pros, but still pretty great. It does come with a Lightning port, not USB-C. That might have something to do with the fact it only works with the first-generation Pencil, which charges with Lightning. But still a nice little small upgrade to that base model. That's really your only difference. So there you go. We've already seen some leaks this week of a triple camera iPad probably coming in the spring. So this will at least tie you over until then.
For all those people who take pictures with their iPads.
Well, now they're going to be really good.
What was the price point on this again?
It is starting at $329, $299 for education purposes.
That's a really good deal.
Yeah,
pretty cheap.
And like I said, I think the real takeaway here is, it's got the better processor and what have you, but the takeaway is, I think the smart connector. So they're just expanding their accessory ecosystem, which I think is going to be important moving forward.
Are there things besides keyboards that use the smart connector?
I don't know.
That's a really great question. I don't know. Dan's ferociously Googling.
Can you like put two iPads next to each other?
And
Like,
create
you
a
make-
super iPad?
Ooh.
touch
That's
their
dangerous, buddy. You
Or
don't
would
wanna
they
do
cancel each other out and have like there'd be like an antimatter iPad?
smart- right.
What's it? What? It just turns into like a piece of paper? The
Yeah, I know.
anti-iPad?
Like the room starts shaking and you start to see like there's light at the edge of your vision.
Oh, Colby destroyed the universe by creating a black hole. How'd he do it? The particle accelerator? No, he put two iPads together.
It was
Shit.
too smart.
I cannot find the answer to this question.
I don't know how much access accessory makers have to that port, to be honest. I don't know if it's something that Apple doesn't allow them to use, or they just don't use, or that it's a good question. Now that it's available on more iPads, it's entirely possible. I have a sneaking suspicion. You were saying who needs a better camera on an iPad. I have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to see some really, really aggressive pro stuff in the spring using iPads to shoot movies on, because it's going to have the same camera that's in the iPhone that they just showed you can shoot movies on, but now you get a giant screen on which to do it. And I think that's where the smart connector is going to start to come in for high-speed data transfer and hardcore accessories, is my guess.
Yeah.
Because you're right, I don't think they've really done anything with it.
Right.
So, nice little new iPad for your line, but if you're not done with Apple accessories, how about an Apple Watch? We now have the Series 5 is joining the lineup. In overall design, it's similar to the Series 4. The big new feature, an always-on display. So you can see the time without having to move your wrist. It maintains the prior model's 18-hour battery life thanks to a new low-temperature polysilicon and oxide display and a low-power display driver. The screen will be in low brightness mode until you move your wrist, where it will come to full brightness, kind of like it does now, except it won't be black. In addition to the new always-on feature, the Series 5 is available in recycled aluminum or titanium finishes for the first time. You'll also get stainless steel and ceramic as well. It's the widest number of finishes ever for the Apple Watch, they say. Other new features include a built-in compass and emergency calling for international countries. Pricing for the Series 5 starts at $399 for the GPS model, $499 for the cellular version. Available right now in stores September 12th. Apple is also permanently dropping the price of the Series 3, which will stick around to $199, the lowest sale price on that model that's been listed. The Series 4 is dropped from the lineup.
Wait, what? The Series 3 is still there, but the Series 4 is gone.
Right, because the 5 is basically the 4, just slightly better. So I think it's kind of like when they have the iPhone 8, but they don't, yeah.
Gotcha. So the 5, I see. The 5 is like an S upgrade.
Yes, exactly.
Weird. Ooh, it has a compass.
Yeah, isn't that exciting? Built right in.
Now you can be confused by the compass on your wrist in addition to the compass on your phone.
I wonder if this will be better or easier in some way, but it probably isn't.
Yeah. I think the compass is definitely better than it used to be. But it's not like reliable in the way that a compass is reliable.
How are we feeling about the always-on display?
It's a little pebbly.
Extremely
like it.
positive.
Mm-hmm.
That is a thinking about upgrading feature. Like for me, that's the one frustrating thing, because you're talking about Pebble, but one of the things I use my Apple Watch for most is controlling stuff that I'm actively doing, like music and timers and things where I want to be able to see it without doing... I find the lifting the wrist thing mostly works. It doesn't always work reliably enough.
Yes. No, and sometimes I have to like touch it with my nose or something.
Yep. So the ability to, know where I'm tapping before the screen comes on so I can kind of go for it, I think is great. That's like one of the main things I missed from my Pebble back when I had that.
Right. Yeah. I'm interested to see like how it works with different things. Like Sean, you mentioned timers. Like does the timer show up on the always on, or does, I mean, because the little clip I saw of it was like, oh, it goes into like a special like low power mode that seems like a pared down version of like the high power mode.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see like how that works exactly.
Yeah, I'm curious how bright it's going to be if you're like in a dark room and your watch is just constantly on.
Mm-hmm.
How was that? What happens when you're at a conference? There's a bunch of nerds all with their like mostly on Apple Watches in the audience.
Yeah, I usually sleep with my watch on.
Right. Yep. So that's what I'm nervous about, but I did buy one, so
hey,
I'm not that nervous about it.
Very exciting. Now, I don't know if it's available yet. When you order, did you get to use the new Apple Design?
Oh yes, I did.
Thing. I forget what.
Yeah,
Design
that was
Studio?
way better than it used to be.
Yeah, walk us through what that process was like, because now you're able to mix and match. You don't just get the default band. You can actually pre-mix and match your band with your case, with all your other stuff right in the ordering process.
I mean, it's exactly how you want it to be. There was like you could take any band and any what's the word I'm looking for? Finish on any band and combine it with any watch, and except I think some bands are only on some sizes of watches, but combine it with any finish or case type on any watch. Exactly what you want. Yeah.
Cool. Are you willing to share with us what you ordered?
Oh yeah, I went back to the stainless steel, and I splurged a little bit, got myself the fancy link bracelet thing, so that I don't feel like such a stooge when I wear my Apple Watch at weddings. Plus, they haven't changed the band, so hopefully this just means they're not going to change them, which would be ideal. If you're listening to this, Apple, please don't change them.
Would be a very Apple thing to do. Hopefully not. That's great. Oh, that's awesome. We'll look forward to your full report when that comes in.
Thanks. I will let you know. It should be coming in. Well, I think by adding the link bracelet, I really pushed off the arrival time, because I think it's like October 1st. Or there's bets.
Okie dokie. Very cool. Well, you're going to need something to connect that watch to, Dan.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And it's probably going to be a new iPhone. We're going to start again in the order in which they announced them. The successor to the iPhone XR, it is the iPhone 11. And it's not spelled XI, it is the number 11. Apple claims the LCD-equipped iPhone XR has become the most popular iPhone in the world over the past year. So this will be a big update for the 11. Let's talk about what you get and what's different. The same 6.1-inch display with the notch at the top. You are getting some new color options: purple, white, green, yellow, black, and red, all available. I guess these are really no particular order. The biggest change you're going to see is the camera on both this and the Pros, but on the iPhone 11 specifically, a new dual camera system with a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera, as well as the traditional wide camera. You are going to get an even better front-facing camera, 12-megapixel true-depth wide-angle camera, including shooting 4K video on both the rear and the front camera. You also get night mode, which we'll talk about on all the phones, that uses adaptive bracketing to improve shots taken at night. You also get an update to the A13 Bionic processor. It's faster than the old one. They didn't really reveal any specific detailed performance, but it seemed to be faster. You also get an additional hour of battery life over the XR. You get enhanced Face ID, which is supposed to speed it up, give you more angles, generally improve it. That front-facing camera certainly helps. And slightly improved water resistance. They're starting the pricing at $699, and will start shipping on September 20th.
Wow. So Did you any of you read the New York Times iPhone review?
No, not the one specifically.
So they basically said, yeah, like this iPhone's good. It's better than the other iPhones. It's a great phone, but we don't think that you should upgrade once every 2 years anymore, because the phones are staying good longer, and the phones aren't getting like revolutionarily better.
Yep.
And like I don't know how true. I mean, they have their hands on this phone, so apparently they think it's true. Coming from an iPhone 10, which was 2 years ago, like I'm excited for the camera. I'm excited for the longer battery life. I'm also excited for the more touch resistant, like the tougher glass.
Yes.
Then maybe I can go without a case. I'm not excited about how heavy it is. Still.
Yeah, it was an interesting choice on this one. One of the first times I can recall them not making it thinner and lighter. They actually slightly, in like 0.01 inches, increased the width and increased the weight by a couple grams to increase that battery life, which I think is, I would argue, a smart choice rather than, I think that's a big selling feature, like you said, Dan.
Okay, but what do you think about... would you recommend people still upgrade every 2 years to like a layperson?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. To a layperson, no, I don't think they should. I think you upgrade when you feel ready to upgrade, and I think that's different for everybody. When you feel the performance of your phone or the physical condition of your phone no longer allows you to use it to its full potential, then you should upgrade. If your phone in 3 years is in brand new shape and is running like the day it came out of the box, don't upgrade unless there's some new feature you really want. Like there's no real, you're right. I mean, there's nothing shockingly new about these devices. Now, I would say if you take a ton of photography with your iPhone, yeah, go nuts, upgrade. You're going to notice a difference. It's going to be better. But, I wish I had a reason to upgrade to these phones, and I just don't. Which is kind of a shame, because I've got the 10R, which is I love. It's been a great phone, and it's practically new.
Colby, any thoughts?
You're muted. What?
Rude. Are we just talking about the 11 or in relation to the 10R?
Well, we can broaden the conversation. We'll get
which
into
phone do you have?
Which phone do I have right now?
Yeah.
I have the XS. Because I don't know, I'm still trapped in upgrade program purgatory.
Purgatory?
I don't know if it's purgatory. I just don't know if I want to be here, but I can't not get the new phone when it comes out, so I'm always going to be here.
But you're in the upgrade program.
Right. So I have the previous new one.
Okay.
I queued up the new one.
It's on its way.
Yeah. Or I don't know if it's shipped yet, but it will be. It will be on its way.
So, I went in on the iPhone upgrade program this year. Before I read this New York Times article, but just for the battery life purposes. I did a new phone every year for 2 years. Before this iPhone 10, I've had the iPhone 10 for 2 years, and I know that I could do it if I wanted to. But this was also the first year that I broke a screen, so I had to get the screen repaired. And so the free AppleCare was a big incentive, or not free, you pay for it. AppleCare included. But just being able to get a phone with really great battery life every year. We'll see. Maybe I'll hate it. You're making me nervous, Colby.
To be clear, I don't hate it. I just don't know, like.
Well, how were you paying for your phone before?
Me?
Yeah.
I
You
would
were just
buy
on the non. Oh, you just bought it straight up. I mean,
Yeah.
I it's one of those funny things where, back when you used to sign 2-year contracts, right, and they'd give you the phone for free. Remember those days?
Yep.
Your bill would be $70 a month or whatever. And nowadays, the plans are like $35 a month, but then you pay Apple $35 a month for your phone. So I sort of see it as a break even anyway. And like you said, the included Apple Care. But I'm on the upgrade program, and I don't know if I want to upgrade or not for 2 reasons. One, it's not free technically. You end up paying somewhere between $50 and $60 in taxes and fees, and they still charge you outright for that. And also, one thing I noticed when I upgraded to the 10R, I had a bad time upgrading and moving all my stuff over, and it's just always a possibility when you change phones, and when you start doing it every year, you start running that risk of what could go wrong.
Oh yeah, what did I do last time? I did the thing with my watch where I like didn't unpair it or something.
Yeah.
I have never done that correctly.
I forget what I did wrong. And I mean, I obviously got my watch working with the new phone, but that was weird.
Yeah. No, the issue I have is I'm a settings nut, and I like my phone to be exactly the way it is, and I don't like how iCloud transfers your stuff. So I still use USB over iTunes, but I load it up I load the entire old phone image onto the new phone. And
yes.
Though Apple allows me to do that, it doesn't always work right. And so all of a sudden, like, the Bluetooth won't work because it's screwed up with I ended up having to reset it a bunch of times, and it was a pain. So,
yeah.
But the question I have is the iPhone 11's great, but maybe I'm a bit more of a professional. Because you can also get the iPhone 11 Pro and the 11 Pro Max. These are the successors to the XS and XS Max, the 5.8-inch and 6.5-inch phones. The big deal, we've got one more camera. That's right, they've officially lost their minds and threw in a third. Before we get to the cameras, there's a new finish on the back, new colors. It's a matte finish available in space gray, silver, gold, and now green for the first time. They've also upgraded the display to a new OLED panel, which they say is better. They're calling it Super Retina XDR display, including that new tougher glass. It'll have the A13 Bionic chip, same as the iPhone 11, which is fast. They say the 5.8-inch iPhone 11 Pro will get 4 hours better battery life than its predecessor, and the 11 Pro Max will get 5 hours better than the XS Max. As I mentioned, the new camera system is the big one. You're getting the same wide angle and telephoto lens that you're getting on the other one, but now you're getting an ultra-wide lens, 12 megapixel with a 120-degree field of view. The telephoto camera also getting an upgrade with a larger aperture that they say can take in 40% more light. You also get that 12 megapixel front-facing camera you get on the 11. You also get the upgrade to the camera software, as I mentioned, the night mode and the something that they're working on called Deep Fusion that's not available now. That'll be in an update later this fall, but all those features are also coming to the 11. You get the Face ID upgrade, which we talked about. You also get a faster 18-watt charger, a USB-C charger, which you will not get with the iPhone 11. The 11 Pro starts at $999, the Pro Max starting at $1,099. It ships on September 20th.
Whoa. What is Deep Fusion?
Well, Colby, I actually have the answer. It shoots 9 images. It's a computational photography feature. It shoots 9 images, 4 short images, 4 secondary images, and 1 long exposure. Then it uses machine learning to combine those images into a single final image that promises added detail and less noise. Apple Senior Vice President Phil Schiller calls it, quote, computational photography mad science.
Whoa.
It sounds pretty cool.
I've seen this. Yeah, go ahead.
It's tough to know how good it is until you get your hands on it, but all the other stuff Apple's done in this area has been pretty awesome. So I have high hopes.
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to Deep Fusion specifically, but The Verge did a great article in their review of the Pro and the Pro Max where they did the side-by-side photos against the Note 10 and the Pixel and the 11 non-Pro version. And damn if those photos didn't look really spectacular. I mean, you could, anyone in the space will tell you over the last couple of years, the Pixels really outpaced Apple in photography. Samsung on some areas has outpaced them in photography, and the photos that come out of this thing, when put side by side with the competition, they look really great, especially those night mode photos. A huge difference.
Yeah, I'm excited for the night mode, which all of my Android friends have had for a year now.
Yes, no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
That also looks really good. I don't care where it comes from. I just want it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's adding... If you think about what are the features people use most in their smartphones, right? And what would they want to see improved? The screen, the battery life, the camera. Like, that's your, like, key features of the phone, and that's really what they improved.
Do most people care about the screen?
I think subconsciously they do. Because I've seen, like, my 10R, which has a really fantastic LCD screen, up against the OLED, and there is a difference. And this is an absolute true story. I took my mother last year to get a new phone, and I explained to her the 10R, the 10S. She's not a techie person at all, and she liked the screen so much more on the 10S for her eyes that she paid extra to get the 10S instead of the 10R just for the screen. So I think for some people, it really, she saw them side by side. I think it does matter to some people. Not as much as some of the other features, but.
Right. Huh. Neat.
And I will say, I think if you had to ask me, like, hey, what's my favorite thing they announced in this whole presentation? God, I love that green color.
Oh, you like the green?
I'd love that green color. The problem I have with the 11 is all the colors are really cartoony, which I get why some people like that. Like, I like the purple on the 11, I think, is nice. It's a little too cartoony, but that, like, kind of I don't want to call it like a military green, but it is sort of like a...
It's like olive.
Yeah, it looks nice with that matte finish. That's a good-looking phone.
That's the one I got.
Is it? So now we got to go through and say what we got. So Colby, what'd you get?
Yeah, I got the 11 Pro in green.
Nice.
Yeah. That's all. I didn't go crazy. I haven't pulled the trigger on a watch yet, but it could happen.
Well, this sounds like a good deal because Dan got the watch to try out, and he'll report on that. You got the 11 Pro to test out, so you'll report on that. And I'll subscribe to Apple Arcade, and I'll test that out.
Perfect.
That'll help the bottom line.
I mean, I also ordered an 11 Pro Jet Black. Or not Jet Black. Whatever. Space Gray. Is that what they call it? Black. Yeah.
Space Gray. Oh, boy, am I going to be left out?
Maybe. Sounds like you're going to be left out.
The other thing that really bums me out, too, is that they got rid of I assumed... So these phones, I know nobody worries about storage levels anymore because of the cloud, but these phones go from 64 to 258 or 256. And
that was true last year, too, right? It was true of the 10.
The 10R, I believe mine is one...
the 10R, yeah.
And I don't understand why they didn't dump the 64 and just have the baseline at 120. I mean, I know why they did it, but it's just, that's annoying to me because 64 is just not enough, especially when you have this size camera. Are you kidding me? 64 gigabytes?
Really?
That drives me crazy.
I have 64 gigabytes and it's fine.
Yeah, I checked my phone before I ordered, and I barely under the 64 gigabytes. But I also have 256.
I've got 128, and I use 80 of it. Now, I'm also not like careful about what I store, and I never delete anything. But
what uses most of your space? And then I have another question for everyone.
I will tell you, it is mostly photos because I never delete photos. I've got 20 gigabytes of photos.
Wow. Do you use the iCloud photo library?
I do not. I sync with Google Photos and with Dropbox, but I don't delete them off my phone because I'm a lunatic. And I have 23 gigabytes of music locally stored because I still use iTunes like a lunatic. So that right there is 40 gigabytes just in photos and music.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm using 33.5 gigabytes of my 64 gigabytes.
That's pretty good.
Colby,
Yeah.
you subscribe to so many podcasts, I figured they would just be blown out of the water.
So Overcast is my second highest data, which is 2.71 gigabytes. Spotify is my first highest one, which is 2.9. And then my next highest is my email client, which is 1.24 gigs.
Where does photos fall?
Photos. It's not even on here.
Wow, so you just don't take any photos.
I take photos. Maybe I must have scrolled past it. I see Google Photos. I don't even use that.
But
Well,
what's even wackier to me though is that just the system itself, just the OS, takes up 11 gigabytes.
system.
The system.
That's a chunk right there.
That is a
Also,
chunk.
can I rant just very briefly about this insane thing that happens on iOS where apps become bloated over time because they cache stuff locally and then there's no way to get rid of it until you uninstall it and reinstall it? Am I the only one who's noticed this?
No. Go on, though.
My Facebook app right now, right? When you download it fresh, I don't know off the top of my head exactly how big it is, but right now it's at 328 megabytes. I doubt it's that big when you download it fresh. Instapaper, I have a gigabyte. My Instapaper is using a gigabyte on my phone. The app is not a gigabyte. What it does is it caches stuff locally, and there's no way to clear that cache. I noticed this on my last phone because I kept hitting my limit, my size limit, and I'm like, what's going on? And I noticed these apps are like huge.
Could you? I mean, I assume you could delete the app and
That's
then
how you have to do
reinstall
it.
it.
That's how you have to do it. But it's like I
Gotcha.
would, when you're on your browser, you can clear your cache and your history and all this stuff. I don't know why you can't do that for apps.
Right. Yeah, that seems like a thing they could add pretty easily.
I thought I'd seen things like that, but I guess that...
They used to have a feature. There used to be a button. I forget what it was like, because certain parts of the app they categorize as like data and documents or something like that, and you used to be able to delete them, but that didn't always clear it. And then I don't see that button as much anymore. Now with documents and data.
Photos just randomly popped up in my list of apps. It wasn't there before. It's 647 megabytes.
What?
Respectable.
I use the cloud photo thing though, so
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can have it automatically offline your photos.
I have no idea how much photos I use on because that's definitely what I have turned on. Where? Show me iCloud.
Is that how you talk to Siri?
Yes.
Like you're its god?
Here's another question that I was just thinking about last week. What do you all have your video recording quality setting set to?
Right now?
Yeah,
On
right
Skype?
now. No. On your phones. On your iPhones.
What?
You can change the quality and resolution of the videos that get recorded on your phone.
What?
Uh,
How? Camera settings?
yeah, probably somewhere in there.
Oh, record video 1080p at 30 FPS.
Noob. That's
I
what
could
mine
do
was
4K.
You could do 4K at 60 frames per second, can't you?
Yeah. It's a lot of Ks.
Maybe not with 64 gigabytes, but I was just reminded of this the other day, and I was also at 1080p 30 frames. I turned it up to 4K at 60 frames per second. Because I just checked, I'm at 66 gigabytes used. So I've got, from my 256, I've got some gigabytes to spare.
Whoa.
I
don't know
where
if
are
I
the
want
camera
that.
settings? I can't find them. I know we're really slowing down the thrill of the show here. Where's the camera settings?
It's top level settings. There's just a camera.
Oh, duh. Yeah, I'm 1080p.
Well, look at that.
Look at that.
What even happens if you... I can't believe this.
Cool.
Oops.
What else? What else was talked about? Anything else?
No, we basically covered it. I mean, it really wasn't the most. They hustled through it. It was under 2 hours. There really wasn't.
We're not going to talk about the
Apple retail.
The Apple retail update. No, I'm just kidding.
Look, if you want to, you live in New York City. You're our New York City correspondent.
Oh, I did drive by the new Fifth Avenue store, and it was very colorful and rainbowy.
Yeah, that'll be opening on September 20th.
It's not even open yet.
No, they're throwing a big opening party on the 20th. Tim Cook will be there, Dan, if you want to stop on by.
What's the 20th? Friday?
It is.
That's when the new phones come out?
Yeah. Yep. There is some other small stuff. They launched a new trade-in program with monthly payments. So if you trade in a device, they don't just give you, they'll actually reduce your monthly payments if you're on one of their plans, because you traded it in.
Neat.
Depending, obviously, on the value of your phone. The Apple Watch Studio in-store, where you're actually, it's going to change the in-store experience for trying on and buying an Apple Watch, where you'll actually be able to try on the different bands and buy the new bands with it there in the store. Yeah, that's the scoop.
Yeah.
I'm going to, go ahead.
I just said that's it.
That's it. I'm gonna look into maybe upgrading. I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I haven't decided.
Interesting. What is giving you like pause about what makes you want to upgrade?
Because I like new things.
I'm surprised to hear you say. Oh, okay.
Because I like new
I'm
things.
surprised to hear you say that.
I like the 10R, but I just feel it's at that point where I should just go to the Pro level and stay there.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, I will make that jump. Like, I wouldn't get an iPhone 11, because to me, that's too similar to what I have now. But I do notice that my photos, I'm not good at taking photos, and so I need the phone to help me a lot. My photos surprisingly are blurry and bad looking, which I don't know how, because it's a computer that is designed to take photos. So I could use some assistance. I'll probably wait until I play with iOS 13 for a while, which we can talk about here for a quick minute. Which is going to be rolling out on September 19th to devices all the way going back to the 6S iPhone SE era. We talked previously on the show about what you're going to get in there. The interesting thing to me is that you're only getting some features on September 19th with the first update. Updates to maps, photos, reminders, dark mode, the new maps interface, new Find My app will be in there, Memoji can be turned into stickers, period tracking with the health app, the new swipe keyboard. But there'll also be an iOS 13.1 update coming about a month later. That's going to include Siri reading incoming messages aloud, Siri shortcuts for HomeKit automation, sharing an ETA with friends, importing photos directly into an app when a camera is connected to the device. And then some features like audio sharing between two sets of AirPods, HomePlay and AirPlay 2 enabled speakers are going to be even later this fall. So we're going to get a lot of updates later on. The sort of early review I read of the new iPhones running iOS 13, the official iOS 13 reviews aren't out yet. They're still embargoed. Is that it's super buggy. Yeah, crashy, and it's just not good, and that's, they say, what I read was, wait until 13.1 to update. At September 30th, 13.1 will be available.
And is that the super buggy? Is that the most recent beta, or is that the...
It's the one that's shipping on the iPhone 11s now, so I'm assuming it's the latest beta.
Gotcha.
I don't know when exactly they certify it time-wise.
No, technically, like, the latest betas are 13.1, and the ones shipping on the devices are 13.0.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would assume it's extremely close to the final version.
I thought I saw reviews come out today. Like, that was what that New York Times thing was. But maybe it wasn't a review, and that was just like an opinion piece or whatever.
Well, the reviews on the phones came out this week.
Oh.
Where they could mention that iOS 13 was on there, but as far as I can tell, the official review of the OS update itself is probably embargoed till later in the week when it actually comes out.
Oh,
is my guess.
I didn't realize that people reviewed those separately. I guess they do.
Yeah, especially with the new features. I think they're going to want to dive in on 13. So, yep. So that'll be coming later this week with the big update on the 30th. I will probably update it to 13 this week anyway, because I am a glutton for punishment.
I was going to say, I don't know if I have the self-control.
I really want to try the new CarPlay super bad. So I don't think I'll be able to wait.
Ooh, yes.
I'm very excited about that. And if it's crappy for a week and a half until the next update comes out, I don't really care. And yes, I probably will wait until I have my hands on iOS 13 for a while before deciding to upgrade phones.
That makes sense.
One other small article I included in the rundown here from this announcement is the new U1 locator chip.
Yes.
Let's talk about this for a second. Available in the 11 and the 11 Pros is the U1 chip. U stands for ultra wideband, which Apple is using to power new location tracking features. It more effectively lets the newest iPhone communicate and locate other U1 devices. It's sort of like Bluetooth Low Energy, but it's got some benefits, improved spatial awareness, more precise pinpointing, etc. It's going to be built right in. They kind of say right now it's going to lead to amazing capabilities in the future. Won't really do a ton for you now unless you're looking for other U1-enabled devices. There were a lot of rumors before. We even talked about it on the show of them releasing like a tile-style tracking keychain type thing, but we didn't hear anything about that at this announcement.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really cool. And you could imagine, I think let me try to find this article. There's a really good article I read about this. But the kinds of stuff you could do with this and like AR or with some like rumored Apple glasses, could be super duper dope.
And did you guys see that article about the code potentially teasing the new AR headset?
No.
Let me see if I can find
it. Yeah, I'm putting this in the... I'll put this in the show notes. We don't say that often enough.
No, I'll put mine in there as well. Yeah, a screenshot from an iOS developer took a screenshot in the iOS 13 file, a README file, that talks about I want to break it down appropriately here. Apple is testing an internal device known as Garta, and if you want to test your stereo AR apps with that device, you'll want to set them to WORN mode, WORN mode, so that it can apply different distortions than if it's being held instead, indicating it's potentially a stereoscopic AR headset. There's also a reference to a game controller as well, with a clicky trackpad, a trigger button, and a home button.
Whoa. What I was most excited about in the article I just posted was Apple could, if you've lost your phone, or if they make one of these tile trackers, imagine being able to hold up your phone in front of you, and it would make like one of those video game style like objective markers of like it is exactly over here. Like yep. You could see that it is in the couch. You could just see it. That would be so cool.
That would be very cool.
Well, and if you think, and they haven't specifically addressed this to my knowledge, but if you think about it, one of the benefits of Tile specifically is that anyone who has the Tile app on their phone, it's looking for Tile devices around it, even if they're not yours, for lost or missing devices. But to have millions upon millions of iPhones out there, a device where most of them are running the newest OS anyway, is such a built-in advantage that Android just doesn't have. And a really fantastic selling feature, especially if I'll be curious if, and of course we're talking way down the road here, but if they ever decide to open up either the U1 chip or the software to third parties to integrate into their own devices, so Apple could locate things that aren't necessarily an Apple-made product.
Right. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious if there's going to be a fall Apple event and what will happen there. Like,
It's possible.
but you think maybe if they were going to have some of these cool U1 chip features that they would have really wanted to release them in the event with the iPhones, but maybe not. Maybe there's PR advantages in just keeping the iPhone in the news in October too. I'm sure it can't hurt.
Yeah, I guess the question is, what does a fall event include, right? I think this tracking stuff and a tile tracker, whatever, is interesting. I don't think it anchors a whole event. What do they announce with it?
Well, there's a lot of Mac stuff that people are waiting for.
True. We haven't seen iPad Pro updates, or possibly.
Right. Or iPod Pros for that matter. Could you imagine? It was just last year when they updated the iPod Touches, right?
Yeah, they don't usually make a big announcement about them anymore. But yeah, they've been updated recently. But that's what I'm just thinking is like, they really focused in this event on the pro stuff, the filmmakers and shooting a whole movie with the new iPhone, and you can shoot the front and the back at the same time. And I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. Like, what other super professional applications are they going to try and sell this crap into? And I'm like, if the cameras are theoretically that good, you could just sell an iPod Touch as a camera. In the same way you used to buy a Canon point and shoot.
Right.
And just have a bunch because they showed, the apps where you can have 4 of them set up and they're shooting all at the same time and sharing the video feeds and stuff, and you just buy a 4-pack of iPod Touches.
Yeah, that demo was really cool. The demo where they had the all 3 cameras shooting video at the same time, and you could get the different frames. I don't know what the filmmaking term for this is.
Yeah,
that was dope.
If we were, because nowadays I'm not going to do shit about it, but if we were still in college and all this technology existed, oh man, the things I would do with it.
The places you'd go.
Oh my god, it would have been awesome. I'm so jealous.
Yeah, that would have been cool. As a person who was briefly involved in that sort of thing.
Back in the old days.
Yeah.
Back in the early teens.
Didn't we check out cameras from someplace for?
I may still have one of those cameras.
That you stole from there?
No, for the record, they lent it to me and then forgot they lent it to me and never asked for it back.
Wow.
If they ask for it back, I will give it back to them.
Was that the camera that you were using to record this show for a minute?
No, that was a different one I had.
Wow, you got lots of cameras.
I literally have 5 camcorders in my closet. It's a long story. But I'm a dork for all this stuff.
Nice.
Guys, that's it. Unless you have any other thoughts on our friends.
No, I'll report back next week on my phone.
Yes.
Yep,
iOS 13
I got nothing.
will be here. We'll have plenty to talk about, I'm sure. But until then, that's it for us. I want to quickly, before I tell everybody don't panic stuff, I got a pitch up for debate.tv. We just did a super fun episode last week, a create your own adventure episode, where Matt and I told a story. It was a creative challenge. We told a story in little chunks, going back and forth, but we ended each chunk with multiple choices.
Ooh.
And it goes off the rail in the most fun way, and I'm telling you, it's one of my favorite episodes we've ever done. It's a hoot, and Matt is an underrated improviser. He's very funny, so I highly recommend you check out Choose Your Own Adventure over at Up for Debate, and I'll tease over the next 2 weeks, we're going to be talking about baking. We're going to be talking about our favorite desserts, what we like about baking, and Matt and I are going to issue each other a baking challenge. And
challenge each other, challenge yourselves.
That's right. And we're going to come back next week and see if our food is edible. So you're going to want to check that out. Subscribe to the show wherever you get podcasts. This show is don'tpanic.io. It's our great website. You can go there, get all the past episodes, the audio, the video, the whole thing's there. Of course, you can subscribe to the show as you should wherever you get podcasts. Just search Don't Panic. On Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Spotify, we're everywhere. And of course, you can follow us at Don't Panic Show on Twitter and email us don'tpanicshow@gmail.com. We will be back next time with more tech news, much of it not Apple related. Until then, on behalf of Colby and Dan, I'm Sean. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time for another Don't Panic.